Listen to me. To be effective in combat, a warrior must not feel for his enemy. The road ahead is long and unforgiving. No place for a boy. You must be a warrior.
I understand.
Hey guys, Euro94 here, back again with another action figure review. Today we're looking at the Neca Kratos and Atreus Ultimate Action Figure 2-pack from God of War. So as you see, the box is designed to look like one of the lore closets in the video game. If you guys have ever played the game, there's a bunch of closets around the game where you open it up and it's there's a lore inside all of them, and Atreus pretty much tells the lore. He reads the hieroglyphics inside, since Kratos can't exactly read it. But I like how they did that with the box. And on the back side, we get some few poses of the figures, and just like in the game, the closet will open from the middle, 2 doors, and then that unveils the 2 figures inside. Then we got some more pictures on the sides of the flaps here. So this game did win Game of the Year from multiple places, IGN and the actual Game Awards too, and I'm sure several others. So I do recommend you guys check out this game if you have not played it. It is a PS4 exclusive, so you're going to have to get yourself a PlayStation 4 if you don't have it. But anyways, here are the 2 figures, Kratos and the boy. What's great about this 2-pack is that it comes loaded with tons of accessories, and that gives you a lot of fun factor in it. It's always great to get accessories, but not only that, we also get several effects, and that's also great. So we're going to run through the accessory pieces first, and then we'll get to the figures. Alright, so first up, the shield makes a comeback from the first release of Kratos. They did release Kratos already. It's a different version. They released that one before the game came out, so it came with less things, so it was a little bit spoiler free. Anyways, this is the same piece as before, so this is the one that came with the first Kratos. It's a little bit different in terms of color, and there's a little bit more weathering on there. So same sculpt though. Then we get the Leviathan axe. This also makes a return from the first figure release. This is the first release here, so they pretty much just changed a little bit of the color of the handle, and that is it. So here's where we start changing it up. That's pretty much all the original one came with. Pretty basic. It came with a knife too. But now we get an effects for the Leviathan axe, which is very nice. It's a very soft plastic here. So you just put the blade inside like this, I believe. See if I can get it on camera. Yeah, tucked in like that. So now it looks like he is swinging the axe, and if you played the game, you know that it makes this sort of effect when he swings the axe. So it does look good. It works well with this here. So that's a nice touch here. Now we do get the Blades of Chaos. So as you progress in the game, he does obtain the Blades of Chaos once again. So the first release of this figure did not come with any type of blades like this, because it would have been a spoiler, of course. So now we get the chains on his forearm, which the original one did not have, of course. And this is for the blades, of course. And we get not only one pair here. This one does not have chains hooked on, but we also get another pair, like an upgraded version of the blades. Right here you can see the different design. You can upgrade your blades, your weapons in the game, and it does change the design slightly. So here we get an upgraded version, and these actually have real metal chains attached to it. So this is nice. I haven't seen this for any Kratos figure from Neca ever, and they've been doing it since the first game. So it's nice to see this. Then we do get a left hand to grab. He does have a right hand to grab already attached on the figure, and then he's got the fist on the left, and now we do get a fist for the right hand. Also new this time around, we get a separate head for Kratos. We get a screaming head, which was not included in the original release or the single release, so this is also nice. And then the knife also makes a return. This is the first release here, the single release, and the new one's on the bottom here. Here is the collapsed version of the shield. So in the game, the shield can collapse and open up, and this is the collapsed version. So if you don't want him actually holding the shield, you can just have it collapse down. These fire effects are brand new as well. These are the fire effects when he punches. So you see the imprint of a fist in there. That's where you can stick the hand, and it should peg in there pretty good. Then we have another one here. And then lastly, we have one more. Moving on to the accessories of Atreus, we have his bow. Came out really nice too. Details nice, and they actually did use a real string for the string of the bow. So that's cool. And then we get a number of 4 individual arrows. These are just normal arrows. And in the game you can get special arrows, but these are just normal arrows here. And they're all individual, and you can actually place them on his quiver that is attached to his back already. And they can just sit right there very nicely. Then we do get a knife for Atreus, a little bit smaller than Kratos, as you see here. And then lastly, we have a left extra hand for gripping. Alright, so here is our new Kratos, and they did change up his color scheme, which is very, very surprising. I didn't expect it to change, but it is different. You'll see it in the comparison, but the skin tone, the way they painted it, is different compared to the first single release of him. But that's about it. I mean, some of the other colors on him is a little bit slightly different in color. I would say it's a little bit more detailed in the single release version. But we'll check all that out when we compare it. Now here we have the new piece added onto him. It is Mimir's head. Also, when you progress in the game, you'll see where this head comes from and why he's there. And I was under the impression that this was removable and you were able to hold it with one hand, but you're not. They actually molded this thing onto his waist or his behind here. It's stuck on there. It's pegged in and it's molded and glued. And that's a shame, because it would have been a nice accessory to remove and have him hold, because they do hold it with one hand. Have Atreus hold it or and whatnot. Any of that matter would have been cool to do with the head. But as for the head itself, it is very nicely painted and sculpted. I mean, that looks just like Mimir in the game. So very nice job there. Got the tattoos on his head. The horns came out good. Everything, even around his head, down to the severed part. And then we got the bag of ashes for his wife slash Atreus' mother. The sheath for his blade. So we should be able to slide this in no problem, just like that. So that looks good. And then also here, this is the hook for the blade, or for the for the Leviathan axe. Look closely and you can see some dirt on his forehead, a little scratch there right out of the package. I'm sure that's not meant to be there. So that bugs me a little bit, but I will be using the screaming head on this one anyways. So I guess I'm okay with it, but it shouldn't be there, you know. It's quality control issues that will happen with almost any figure, and it's rare to see it on Neca, but it is here. Alright, so his head's gonna swivel left and right. He will look up this high, which is pretty decent there. Looks down that low, which is also decent considering he's got a sculpted beard there that gets in the way. The arm will go forward about this far until it gets hindered by his shoulder harness here. And I think this is supposed to be attached to the bottom of it, and it got deattached. So right out of the package once again, more issues for the figure. But I guess that's okay too, because you can just tuck it under and you can't really tell that it's loose. Going to this arm, of course, you get more movement in and out here. Pretty good. We get the bicep swivel. We do get double jointed elbows. I'm always trying to be careful with the Necas, because I remember I had a few Necas years ago and they broke. But hopefully they did fix that from a couple years ago. Those were the Pacific Rim Necas. The wrist will swivel and it will hinge here. So pretty good movement. As for the torso, there is no ab crunch or diaphragm joint. But there is a waist swivel here, and crunching forward and back, pretty much not there, so you're not going to move that at all. But he does swivel slightly on the waist. We do get a lot of hindering when it comes to this piece here, but it is soft plastic, so you're able to move the leg forward, kick it forward this far, and you can move it in and out. Let's see how far he can spread open the legs. It looks like pretty far, not too bad. Going back down, we get thigh swivel in there. We also do get double jointed knees, which should bend more. I'm scared here, but I'm going for it. There you go. So double jointed knees bend good. It's just very, very stiff, and it feels like it's gonna break. The ankles are very stiff too. They do hinge forward and back They do pivot and they do swivel. They hinge forward and back is the stiff part, and then we do get the toe hinge on the toes right there. And there's a look at him with the open mouth face looking good. It actually came out good. Promo pics didn't do it justice. It didn't look that great in the promo pics. It looked kind of weird, but it does look good in hand. Looks good as the final product, which is all that matters. Alright, so this is pretty drastic, so let me know what you guys think here. This is the single release, the first one that came out, and then this is the new updated version. So they did use the same sculpt, of course, but they painted it very differently here. So I do like both of them, I gotta say. In terms of which one I prefer, I really don't know. I mean, they're both very different, but they're both good. It's not like one's terrible now. This was considered in my top 10 of 2018 figures, so it is a good figure. It's not bad. But seeing it next to him is just very, very different here. So I guess it's just up to preference here and how white you want him looking or whatnot. Maybe I'd say this is a little bit more accurate because there are moments where you can see his original skin color underneath the ash. The white is ash, by the way, in case you guys are unaware of the character. Family's ash on his body. It was part of the curse that the gods bestowed on him. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the entire backstory of the character, but I just wanted to explain it real quick. Also, in the forearms, you see the difference there. There's no chains molded on. The waist piece is the same, but they did color it differently, as you see there. Down to the legs, a little bit different in color. There's the side, and then onto the back where Mimir is. The original had the horn right there, and the pouch is the same. So obviously they didn't want to spoil Mimir, so they put the horn there. Now we'll take a look at Atreus, and this is the first time we get Atreus. This was not a re-release of any sort. They never released him till now. And I do have mixed feelings about this figure. It looks good, but I don't know, something seems off about the face. I don't really agree with the color they went with. The nose, making it purple, along with the ear making it purple. Maybe this was the sick version of Atreus when he became sick in the game. But I don't know, as a normal look, it's just the purple is a little bit much. But if you overlook that, it does look like him. The sculpt isn't bad. The likeness isn't too bad. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. As for the rest of the sculpt, it's fantastic. I like the fur sculpted on there. Everything else looks very good, sculpt-wise and paint-wise. It's a piece of art for sure. So as you saw earlier, I put the arrows in the quiver there, so that's good. So his articulation is going to swivel his head left and right here. He's going to look up about this high, and then he's going to look down about that low. The arms will move forward at an angle because of the way his outfit is sculpted. You can't have him move the arms straight forward. They do go in and out here. Again, very stiff joints. Be careful. There is a bicep swivel. There is a double jointed elbow too. Then we get a swivel at the wrist with a hinge. As for the torso, there is really no articulation. There is no diaphragm or ab crunch. Once again, we do get a waist swivel. It doesn't really crunch forward and back, so it's just going to go left and right. The leg will kick forward. It does get hindered. This plastic's a little bit harder than Kratos's, so it's going to hinder it a lot. You're not really going to get him posed kicking forward. In and out is a lot more range here, you can see. Going back down, we do get a thigh swivel. We get a single jointed knee that doesn't even reach 90 degrees, but it's a decent bend, I guess. So they didn't give him a double jointed knee, unfortunately. I believe you can swivel. Yep, you can swivel the knee. And then going down to the ankles, we get a hinge, we get a pivot, and then we do get a swivel. Alright, and for height comparisons, I'm going to throw in the single release of Kratos first, just to get a full body shot of the three. There they are next to the Neca TMNT Raphael. Here they are next to the Neca Ultimate God of War 3 version of Kratos. And here is the very, very dusty, leaning forward Neca older version of Kratos. This is from God of War 2 or God of War 1, but this is when Neca first started doing the line, so a lot less articulation here, but still got the nice detail and sculpt. I still like these even though they're old, outdated, and less articulated. And there they are next to the Neca Uncharted 4 Nathan Drake. Another great figure. I love that NECA gets the video game licenses for Sony PlayStation games. I love that. I am still crossing my fingers for one day they can do Last of Us. I would love that. Out of everything is to make Joel and Ellie and maybe some clickers. That'd be great. And here is the NECA Crisis 2 Alcatraz figure. The Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio NECA figure next to them here. And then this is Ezio from, which one was this one? I lose track of the names. Brotherhood? What? No, it was not Brotherhood. This was the last Ezio game, I think. Oh my gosh, I lost track. But it's Assassin's Creed. Alright, so let's get some different lines in here. We have the Mezco 112 Spider-Man figure, the SH Figuarts Vegeta, and the Marvel Legends PS4 Spider-Man video game suit. This is Spider-Man, of course. Thank you guys for joining me on my video review of the NECA 2-pack of God of War, Kratos, and Atreus. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Leave a like if you did, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, have a great day. Bye.